What's up, guys? Welcome to the Freaks of Friendship podcast, a podcast where we talk about random shit with close friends and possibly give some controversial opinions, or maybe not. With me, I have Danny,
Hey guys.
Hargo,
Hello, I'm Zach.
Michael,
Hi friends, I'm Mo.
and me, Chung Sing. So, what do you guys think is better? Being a night owl or an early bird?
Oh, I'm a night owl.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're all night owls at this point, but like, do you think that's actually a good thing or not?
What if you just don't do either and you just never sleep?
Well, that's
I mean,
obviously
that
not
sounds
something we can
pretty
do.
amazing.
If you did neither, I feel like you would be a night owl still. I feel like you
Oh,
would be
really?
considered a night owl. Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. Like, if you're up late enough, then you're a night owl no matter what, no matter how early you wake up.
Right.
So, like, do you guys ever wish that you guys were an early bird person?
Yeah, all the time.
Why?
It's kind of hard because like I would enjoy being a night owl and I would enjoy being an early bird. It's like if I could just take take both of the parts and like go to bed in the morning, maybe that would be perfect. But so like I would enjoy being an early bird because like you get the mornings, like it seems like generally things are more calm. There's like less people up and about. Like let's say you have to drive to work and like you had a rush hour and stuff. It would be better than to um I don't know. I would just say it's more calm, like both of them. It's more calm early in the morning and it's more calm late at night. And I think
So I
like those are things I really like.
I would back you up. So like I've taken my motorcycle out in the afternoons before, like 6 o'clock or whatever, where there's a lot of people out and it's hot and there's bugs and all that stuff. And I've also taken it out at like 4:30 in the morning, like right as the sun is coming up.
That's gotta
And
be
like,
sick.
yeah, those mornings are literally like the most fun rides I've ever had because like there's no one around. It's just like nature essentially. You're right. It's super calm and quiet. So I would definitely agree with you. I like that aspect of being an early bird.
So
But
I feel
also-
like
sorry. Go
we're
ahead.
all night owls, but also the grass is greener on the other side. I've heard people say that. And I'm wondering if we just are looking at like, the negatives of like what we were doing with the night owl lifestyle.
So because we're night owls, we're focusing on the negative aspects.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, like if we change this, maybe this would be better, just
Sure.
So, sure, there's some of that aspect. However, I do feel like if I was like more of an early morning person, then that would mean I'd go to bed earlier. I'd be more up when I actually have to go to work. Maybe I'd be able to like wake up early enough and then like do a run in the morning and get some like other work done and then actually like head into work. Like that's something that I honestly kind of wish I did.
So an interesting point that I would bring up is that so like a lot of like I think about it with working out or like running, right? It's like after you work out or run, you feel like you've done something really good for that day, right? So if you run or work out early in the morning, then throughout the whole day, you still have like the satisfaction of knowing it's like I did one productive thing today. So like the rest of your day, like it's man, there's some book on this or something. It's like Little Habits where it's like if you just have like one goal that you continually accomplish throughout your life, kind of bring balance to other parts of your life.
I would
I
agree.
don't
I
know.
think like riding the high of getting something done like for the entire day is probably like beneficial, like for your mental state, if nothing else. Like, but also then
Yeah.
you have to wake up early.
I mean,
Well, so I think one of my coworkers is honestly doing this as best as you could. So what he does is like apparently he's just been waking up early for so long he no longer needs an alarm. Okay, so like first off, that's amazing. Like if you could just let's say I have to wake up for work every day. I get up at like I don't know 7:30, shower. I work from home now, and then I just go sit at my computer. So I don't really need to look great or anything. I don't have to commute. But let's say I wake up on my own around 6 a.m. every day. And it's kind of like maybe some days I wake up a bit later, and even if I did wake up at like 8, it's still okay if I come into work like 10 minutes later than normal. Like nobody's gonna, I guess I'm lucky to have a job where nobody would be mad at me for that, but it just is one of the niceties, I guess. But then I think there's so much to be said for just waking up without an alarm, because it feels like you'll wake up when you're like generally less tired. You know, like you won't wake up midway through a sleep cycle.
Sure. Yeah, like you're getting better sleep. But I do think I don't know. It's like I feel like I routinely wake up at 8. Like I've trained myself to do it, but like I'm definitely still not fully rested enough potentially.
So,
you know?
like, I do think it's kind of a detriment that we're all night owls, just because of the pure fact that, like, the way I mean, our jobs, like, we're all have to be somewhat morning people because we start at 8 in the morning. So it's like being an early bird would be like really helpful in that aspect. So we could, like, if we woke up super early, we could eat like breakfast and like get some work done. And like Danny brought up a good point earlier, like we wouldn't have to no one would be around at that time, so like we wouldn't have to like a lot of the aspects of why I stay up late at night is to hang out with you guys. So it's like, which is not something I hate, but like it's something that is not very productive in the grand scheme of things, I would say.
Oh, it's not very productive hanging out with us, huh?
So I'm gonna topic change, kind of, but like I have done work in the evenings. So like you guys have talked a lot about like wake up early and getting extra work done, right? But like I've done work in the evenings, and I don't feel like there's like a better benefit to doing it in the morning versus at night. Like I feel just as productive in the evenings as I do at night. And obviously that's subjective, right? Like everyone's gonna have their own like schedule that they like and whatever, but I don't know. I just don't want
I just don't want to have work hanging over me, you know? Like I just want to be done with it. So then it's like the rest of the night, you know, the afternoon, it's just all chilling. That's all I want.
That's a good outlet. I feel like that definitely sells the night owl, right? Because then like you're done with like, so you wake up, you go to work right away, and you're done with that. Then you got like the whole rest of the night to just do whatever.
Yeah, dude. Like if you did stuff in the morning, it's like, oh, eventually I'm gonna have to go to work, so you're gonna constantly have to be checking the time, making sure, you know.
Yeah, I feel like
do
the
I have
night
time for this.
Yeah, the night owl is much more susceptible to like being lack of sleep.
Oh, true.
I mean, that's definitely something that we all have an issue with, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like waking up in the morning, like I wish I could wake up in the morning earlier. Like I'd be sad that we'd miss out on a lot of the time we hang out together. But like the fact that if like went to bed at 10, let's say 10 p.m. every night, that would be amazing on my mental state, just because I wouldn't be running on like 5 hours or even less than that on my next day, and then I'd have to nap, and that ruins like the whole rest of the day. Like napping is like honestly a really bad aspect. I don't think like having some naps are good.
But where would your mental state be without me, Chong-Sing? Think about it. You would be in constant distress.
Honestly, it'd probably be a bit better.
Okay. Listen, I'm not sure about that. Let's not go that far.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the fact that like being an early bird, like would like it's definitely subjective. Like Haruka said, I would definitely feel like I am not productive in the evening or at night at all, and in the mornings, like I could be way more productive. Like I mean, I'm already really productive because as soon as I wake up in the mornings, I start work. So it's like that's the most productive time because I'm working. But like I feel like I could use some of that productivity that I have in the morning to help me along, then get some other shit done, because I've definitely been putting off a lot of tasks that I want to do, and just because like after work I don't feel like doing anything because work itself burns me out a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you do get off work and you're just like, I just want to do nothing, and then like it's easy to let that go too long.
Yeah.
Well, so maybe it's not an issue of which one's better or worse, but maybe it's an issue of like what kind of people you're around. Like if we were all early birds, we wouldn't have that issue, right?
We also would not be these people. We'd be way more lame.
I mean,
I gotta be honest. I'm kind of with Chong-Sing, right? Like the only reason I think I'm really a night owl is because I try to hang out with you guys.
So who's the cause? Who's the
now it's like who's doing it to us?
Well, it got really hard when Michael moved to the West Coast.
True.
Yeah, that's a huge aspect. Like we had like staying up at 2 for us just means it's midnight for you, and that's really, I mean, honestly, it's really rough on me personally. But like I mean I like hanging out with you, Michael, but it's like so so hard.
I
That's not
kind
rough
of
on me.
haven't thought about it, but it's like I am a big cause of this, and it's probably not going to get better because I'm potentially thinking about moving back to Chicago, right? And I would be working from like 10 to 7, so I'm
Oh,
probably
because you're
just
still
gonna,
in that time zone or whatever.
yeah, I'd still be working for this time zone. So
Oh, that's
Interesting.
really
That's weird.
interesting.
yeah, and I would still probably then it's like I would be there, and I would be like, oh, I can't do anything with people until after 7, which would be kind of bizarre.
Well, so that's kind of like a good point. Do you think working 10 to 7 is better than 8 to 5?
No.
I would say no, just because
Sun.
like nobody else isn't doing it. Oh, also sun. That's
The
kind of a good
sun.
point.
Yeah, but winter comes and you don't see the sun anyway. So
Kind of true.
Also, Corona's here and you don't see the sun anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very interesting aspect. Like, the difference in working hours is something that we have to take into consideration. That actually leads me on to my next topic. Would you guys work from home permanently?
absolutely.
Really? Because I don't think I would.
Okay, so I've actually had this discussion like with my parents, and I had my aunt and uncle visit like a week ago or whatever. I talked about it with them too. So like my job is currently work from home until the new year, right? And I have went home. My parents live in Wisconsin, so I've driven home to Wisconsin, and I can still work there, right? Like my boss doesn't even know that I'm like away essentially. Um, so I would want to do that solely for the fact that I could move wherever I want and not have an issue with a job. Granted, I'm in a job that allows me to do that, right? Kind of like what Coach said, but um, having the flexibility to do whatever I want and kind of wherever I want to is like super nice.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's super nice. However, like the reason why I do not enjoy working from home nearly as much is I feel like, I mean, honestly, I just miss people, and I liked working closely with my coworkers and just working in the office, having in person, like just dialect with people, and that's something that I really do miss.
Well, so like my job at least, sure, like I talk to my coworkers or whatever, but we're not like I wouldn't say we're the most talkative bunch. So like maybe if I was in a position like you where I conversed with my teammates like all the time, maybe I would miss that more. And then yeah, the thought of working from home permanently wouldn't be as attractive to me. So I guess it kind of depends on what kind of situation you're in currently.
And like another aspect is I don't feel like I'm definitely not as productive working from home. Like I feel like I'm not getting as much done. Like my office doesn't care about that nearly as much right now due to COVID, but like I think if given that opportunity to go back in the office, I actually would. Like I don't know, what do Danny and Michael think about this?
yeah,
I
so
think corporations are evil, and they're stealing your labor.
Well,
Think about,
that's
the
a cool-
man
stealing
says,
your labor
go,
for money.
go to this building for the rest of your life and let your soul slowly drain away. And you know what? I think the more you can get away from that, where you have more personal freedom away from the man, fuck him. That's what I'm saying. Get rid of it. I think I don't know. I think being less productive is potentially good in some ways. I think that we're probably, I think it's unreasonable to be productive for 8 hours, but I don't know.
I mean, I honestly was not productive for 8 hours at the office for sure, but like I feel like I have so much less focus working from home. A part of the reason why I also I don't want to work from home permanently is because of the fact that honestly, I live alone, so it's like I don't see people all that often or ever anymore due to COVID. So it's like being able to interact with another human being would be nice, honestly.
So what we need to do is work from home with our coworkers. That's what I need. You just need to invite them in.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like a big study session. All your house with your coworkers.
well, I don't know about that because a lot of my coworkers are like married and stuff, so I don't know how they feel about
I
that.
don't know how close you are with these coworkers if you're not willing to invite them into your home.
Some of them also
Best
have
part.
kids. Yeah, I don't know.
So I kind of got some thoughts around all this. So I think first off, when I just think about this whole working from home thing, for me it started, I guess, mid March. So it's been what, like 5 months now, and I would say for the first like 4.5 months, I would have definitely preferred to be working in the office like every day, just because I always felt like I had less focus and I just felt like I was being so much less productive. And I would like think back to the times where I like was really productive in the office and I'd be like, like why can't I be as good of a worker? Like I would feel bad about it, right? Um, but then like over the last, I would say half month or so, like I've been really busy, I guess, at work, and like because of that I've been able to like focus so much better. um and like I think as like things are starting to die down again, like I'm kind of like keeping some of those good like mental habits. So I think if I feel that I'm in a spot where I can continue to like focus and produce at a level that I know I can to like feel good about my work, then I have no problem working from home. But then when I have to uh, like feel the pain of it, I hate working from home. So I think ultimately the idea of working from home permanently is kind of off-putting. Like I would want something where, let's say maybe I work from home like for 3-4 days a week and then go in the office like 1 or 2 of those days, because like Chung Sing said, like I would definitely, like I like my coworkers a lot, and like I would enjoy having time with them, like eating lunch, or like I don't know, sometimes we would play darts or like
Here's a
this crazy
question for
game
me.
called Cube.
Would you rather spend time building relationships with your coworkers or building relationships with someone that was in your home? And so I haven't experienced this, but do you think that being able to work from home has been beneficial for personal relationships?
Um, I think so. It,
I feel like
it's kind of hard.
It's a lot of time, right? Around.
Yeah, it's hard because like you do need that separation too, right?
Sure.
And so like for me it's kind of like when I'm at work I try to like focus really hard, or like I
Mhm.
can't always focus really hard, right? But like there's times when I am trying to focus really hard. And at those points like you don't want to be conversing with somebody else, because like it just hurts your mental state and like frustrates you. Um but then like there are the aspects, like let's say I want to eat lunch, like oh wow, I probably got like a whole hour where I can talk to the person who's at my place, and that definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do find the like the relationship aspect really interesting. So it's like before COVID, I would talk with people on different teams all the time at work. Like I would be very social, like with like across the company, like a lot more than I am now. Right now, due to working from home, like I basically only interact with my team, and that's basically it. Like you lose out on like some of the ability to just socialize. At least I felt like I lose out on a lot of the ability to socialize with like just the other people in the company who I don't directly ever like interact with or work with. Like there's an aspect where like my company has like the gaming area, like I would just play games with people, but like now I don't do that anymore with those guys, so it's like I'm losing out on those different relationships that I used to have with my coworkers.
And
And
see,
now you can strengthen them with us instead.
Yeah, I
We
do.
are more
stay up all
important.
night.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
I was
feel
gonna say,
like yeah.
I was gonna say, like, kind of goes back to what I was saying before, like, where my company doesn't have that, and we don't really spend time with each other, like, within the work environment. So I don't miss those things. So I wouldn't have an issue, like, just staying here permanently and continuing to do what I'm doing right now.
Are there any people within your? I feel like no one's friends in your company. I feel like it's
Well,
all
so,
a bunch
like,
of strangers.
it's not that bad. I do think that the Iowa office is particularly like spread apart, I guess. Like teams don't
Sure.
really interact with each other. You pretty much just stick within your own little pod. So it probably depends on which office you're in, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's an interesting aspect. Like my company is definitely like fairly social in that idea, and that definitely changes across different companies and stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what would actually be a good. So, I mean, I definitely agree that, like, with times now, it's definitely not possible to for everyone to work in the office. But I think being able to work in the office for like a few days with like a skeleton crew or maybe like just a few people at the office would be nice for myself personally.
I gotta be honest, not a big fan. Not a big fan. Don't go in. Never return. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm kind of a fan of what Coach was saying, where like maybe instead of going back to the 5-day work week, we instead go to like 3 or 4 days, and then you take breaks in between that where you work
And also you work for less time. What?
You
What do
get
you
paid more.
Yes. Yes.
Michael, I feel like you haven't really shared your opinion.
I feel like work. Maybe it's like work should be less work.
Sure, but you kind of gotta work. But if you had to work, would you rather work from home or would you rather work in the office?
If I had a really fun office, maybe I'd want to work in the office. But if I didn't have a fun office, I think I'd rather try and have fun alone. But also, it's kind of like I'm just kind of used to it,
Amen.
Yeah.
See, it's like Chong-Sing has a fun office, so he wants to go back. The Cargo doesn't sound like he has very much of a fun office, so he doesn't want to go back. I don't think I've got a very fun office. I'm like, eh.
So, I guess along with the lines of the fact that we're all working from home, the last topic I'd like to talk about is, would you guys live on Mars? If given the opportunity, you would make a huge name for yourself. You'd be like the first person to ever live on Mars. Would you guys do it?
Okay,
Let's talk about the benefits. What are they giving me?
money.
A lot of money. They put in a lot of investment into
what
you.
can you spend money on? You're on fucking Mars.
So-
like, you're gonna buy like space
Crypto.
dust.
Just buy a shit ton of crypto and watch it either go up or die or sink as you're in
Okay.
Mars.
So
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I think like you'd probably you say given the chance to come back to Earth, like the technology is sufficiently able to bring you back to Earth. Would you live on Mars for at least like a few years?
Yes.
Well, okay. So what can I do on Mars? Like, how good is my life?
How good is the interplanetary Wi-Fi?
You
Like-
can do exactly what you do now at Mars if you wanted to. You can do whatever you
I
want.
can play League of Legends.
Oh
Yes.
God, the ping.
No. Dude, what? Your ping's 1,000? What, are you on Mars? I mean, bro.
what do you want from me?
So like another interesting aspect of that. With current technology, it takes like 5 years to get to Mars and then 5 years to get back. That's a huge investment in your life that you'd have to also take into consideration with this.
You don't think
But
we're gonna have
also-
some like anti-aging cream by the time we get to Mars?
I mean, I would say getting to Mars is probably a bit sooner in the timeline than
Yeah, but
Going
there's
to-
that. I don't know. That's off
It's-
topic. Never mind. Never mind.
Have you guys ever done something for the story though? Like, you gotta think it's a talking point.
Yeah.
Think. Okay, just here. Give me.
I know where
lay
you're
down the
going with
scenario.
this. I know
Let
where
me
you're
lay
going.
down the scenario. You have just met a young, beautiful woman,
Ah, there it is.
and she says, "Hey, so what are you kind of about?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go with this." So you just say, "I lived on Mars," and then she's gonna say, "Hey, how was that?" And you'll probably be like, "It was all right," and then that's kind of it.
I
But
guess
she's gonna think a lot about you.
how much time of your life would you be willing to give up for that story?
For a talking
Yeah,
point,
for a
it sounds-
conversation starter.
About
What?
10 years, it sounds like.
At least 10 years. I mean, you'd probably have to do some research at Mars itself.
Can we speed it up at all? Can we make the ship go
So
faster?
I guess how much time would you be willing to give up? How fast would the ship have to go?
I mean,
Like-
is this all about a talking point and a relationship starter? Is that what we're arguing at this point?
I mean, that's what
Actually,
Michael wants to talk about.
you need something. You need something to get the ball rolling. And I'm
Right.
just saying, going to Mars.
So
is something.
say you already had a girl, would you do this?
Ooh.
I mean,
Things
I
are
think
getting a
it'd be
little
hard-
dry in the
wait.
relationship.
What
Can
if
the girl
Janessa
come
missed
with?
you?
Yeah, can you bring
Yeah.
a +1?
Yeah, can Janessa come with?
You have to realize this is a bad idea potentially.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be with this person for however long the trip takes and whatever time you're staying at Mars itself.
Babe, I'm so sorry, but they actually want me to breed with someone over here too. Man, I just had to do it. It was so terrible.
No
But it's
choice.
for the good of the human race, so you know.
The Martian race. Get it right.
Yeah, the Martian race.
Yeah,
I don't know. If I was given the opportunity, would I do it? Probably, because it would be really
No.
cool.
that's wild to me. Honestly, I don't think I would do it. That's so much time.
I don't think I would do it.
Dude, but you get to say.
Yeah, but like,
You're gonna go down in history as the dude who went to Mars.
yeah, but like, who cares?
Dude, go down in
I
history.
mean, who
for
cares
something
about
else.
anything? I think if you can make any mark, going to Mars is pretty cool.
What would you do to be famous? It's like almost like that, right?
Go to
It's
Mars.
like I wouldn't go to Mars to be famous. I wouldn't stoop that low.
But see, I think like going to Mars would still be cool, you know?
Dude, anyone could do it. They could send a monkey up there.
But,
they
like-
might actually do that.
But like, what? How else are you gonna make an impact on the world other than going to Mars? Like, is your name gonna go down anywhere else? Do you care if your name doesn't go down anywhere else?
I mean, that's a good question too.
Well, you just wait till my podcast gets big, and then people will sure remember me.
Self plug.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Click the bell for notifications when we go live.
Holy shit,
God
guys.
damn
I don't know. I mean, like, is that what you want to be remembered for? Is like the dude that went to Mars?
I
don't
feel like
know.
of all the
Oh,
things to
okay.
be remembered for, that's probably a significant one.
Dude, but I'm just saying, like, think about, okay, so you're some 8-year-old kid. Because, first off, no one studies Mars when they're like 28, 24, you know? That's in child's textbooks. And they're like, yes. Cargo was the first person to go on Mars.
Dude,
And the
to that
kids will be
kid-
like, that's great. And then that's it.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
To that
like, who
kid, you're a
cares?
legend. If they ever meet you, dude, you're the guy who went to Mars.
Also, imagine being the father of the person who was conceived and born on Mars.
I had to do it. I had to.
And then they brought back, and then they're like, their lineage will be the fact that they were
Martian.
born on Mars. They're a Martian lineage. That'd be huge.
I don't
Like-
know. I think the 10-year travel time does make it really unappealing, right? Like, I think
Yes.
if we can narrow that down, I think a lot more people would be on board, but that's kind of what makes it so crazy, you know?
Yeah,
It's like, if you could go live on the moon, would you do it? You know, like, a lot of people would probably say, yeah, I'd try living on the moon.
yeah, the moon
It's not a
definitely
big
is
time commitment.
easier
Wait.
than Mars.
Is there like a base on the moon now? There's not one, right?
I don't think so.
I mean,
Oh, I mean, that's just the Nazis on the dark side.
Okay.
in these hypotheticals, that would be there. It'd be in a livable situation. Like, you'd either like fly with your like habitat, or like you'd land into a place that's habitable with food and water to survive for however
Okay,
long
so-
you need to.
I just did some light Googling. So the speed of light's, really fucking fast. And
Right?
Mars is really fucking far away. So
Okay, we've got
Just
some
a
good
bit.
stats here. Really far,
No,
really
I,
fast.
I did.
Yep, yep.
I did say some light Googling. So the quickest amount of time you could get there in is about 3 minutes, right?
At the speed of
Okay.
light.
At the speed of light, assuming we can do that. I mean, that is. The
I would
fastest
do it
we
for.
could go.
I'd do it for 3 minutes.
So, like, assuming there was no time it took to get there at all, like you just went to Mars. Like,
Teleport to Mars,
is
basically.
the significance of doing it the fact that it is difficult and time consuming,
And it's a harsh habitat, and it's
and no
yes,
one's
I
ever
would
done it before?
Yeah, and the fact that no one's ever done it before. Like, if we had like a colony on Mars, like, I think anyone who would live on that colony on Mars, it would still be a very large feat. Like, if we had an established colony and you guys had to go there and live there, that's still a very large feat just because of the time commitment. And
I'm just saying, no one wants to be the second guy that went to Mars.
No one remembers the second.
Yeah,
guy.
who's the second guy that walked on the moon? No idea.
Yeah,
you're
Nobody
right, I
knows.
do not know that.
Nobody knows.
Wait,
Damn.
it's Buzz, right? Buzz is the second guy.
Well,
wrong?
maybe. I don't know. They didn't. That's not a name they
No.
showed me.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Aldrin. Yeah, I was right. It's Buzz. Everyone knows Buzz.
I mean, honestly, I did not know off the top of my head. But to be honest, I don't know who was the first person to step on
Neil
the moon.
Armstrong, right?
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on,
Come on,
guys.
Chuck,
Get
say.
your U.S. history in chat.
It's like a 50-50 if I say the guy that only has one testicle and bites or the astronaut. I gotta be honest.
The bicycle rider or the astronaut?
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I mostly think about the amount of testicles that man has, though. But you know,
Do you know his name? It's irrelevant. Never mind.
it's Neil. It's Neil, isn't it?
It's Lance.
Armstrong, though.
Oh.
That's it, though,
Yeah, it's
right?
Armstrong. Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're right.
why. That's why I get them mixed up.
Quick mistake.
It's understandable, I would say.
Yeah, understandable. You're right.
Like when you're in 4th grade learning about famous Armstrongs, I mean, they're very the curriculum is very close together.
Yeah, one of them is actually leg strong.
What?
Was that?
Oh,
was
I
that
get
a
it.
pun?
Oh, fuck.
'Cause he like walked on them. Oh wait, he's a bicycle rider. Oh my god.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I knew it was a bad joke. I didn't think it was that terrible.
I didn't get it at first.
I
Sorry.
didn't- yeah. You know, maybe if we were early birds, we would have gotten it.
Oh,
we
they
have-
do say the early bird gets the worm.
Well, guys,
And with that,
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Killed it.
I think we talked about a lot of interesting ideas today. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for joining me. Today we talked about being a night owl versus being an early bird. Do you guys want to work from home early permanently? And would you guys live on Mars? There was a lot of shit that was brought up. It was good. Thanks for everyone for listening. Good night.
Peace.